Again, computer network is a collection of computers and end devices that are connected together. Okay, they are using some sort of network media, cable, wireless, okay, and also they use protocols. The protocols are the rules or the standards that control the transmission of data. Okay, the network can be small, like two computers can form a network, or can be very big. All right. A computer network may connect computers, printers, and scanners using switches, NIC and a network interface card. Okay, the TCP/IP is the most common protocol for networks, for the internet, and even for home network. Even CCTV cameras, you know, they use TCP/IP to communicate. The network components are divided into three categories. This is very important, okay? We have the end users. It's not coming bigger than this, right? Okay. End users is like what? Or end devices. Like your computer, laptop, printer, okay? Wireless tablet. Then we have the intermediary devices like switches, routers, access points. And then we have the network media like LAN, wireless media, and WAN media. Let's talk more about end devices. The end devices are the interface between the user and the network. Yani this is how you can communicate with the network, with your end device, your laptop, okay? Or your iPad, okay? Yeah, this is for the lab here, sure. So some example of end devices. Can you look at the examples? Tell me what are they? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. These are IP telephones, okay? PDAs, wireless debit card, credit card readers, okay, barcode scanners. Very important device to connect the end devices is called NIC, Network Interface Card. Have you seen a device like this before? You know where you connect the cable to your computer? This is called NIC. Okay. It is a communication device that enables a computer device or device to have networking capability to access a network. Even the printer outside there, photocopier, it has a network card. Okay. The intermediate devices, or we call them network devices, such as these devices provide connectivity and work behind the scenes to ensure that data flows across the network. They are the one who control our network, okay, or facilitate the network. Intermediary devices connect the individual hosts to the network and can connect multiple individual networks to form an internetwork. We will show you an example. The most common intermediary devices are switches, routers, modem, WAP. WAP stands for what? Wireless access point. See that device there? up شباب. اوكي خلاص بلاش الدوخ الحين. And the server is different. The server is network device, is end device, but it's different than the computer. It has more features, okay? But it will have also an NIC, network interface card. So a switch is a device that connects computer in a network and forwards data frames over the network to the corresponding device. Have you ever seen a switch? Inshallah, we will show you the switch in the lab. We will take you to the lab and show you the switch. A switch, it's like a box, rectangular box. It will have ports. These ports you can connect the computers with. A switch will work on the local area network. All the computers connected to it. Okay, and we can have also a backbone cable going from this classroom to the other classroom to connect the two switches together. Okay. A router, it's a device that manages the traffic between two or more networks. Okay, so you are going to from network to network through the router. Different networks. Or to the internet through the router. Wireless access points allow Wi-Fi compliant devices to connect to a wired network. Okay. You see the router here? It is connecting different networks. This is one network, this is two networks. This is the second network. Type network media, it is the transmission media or the communication link is the medium through which the data is transferred. Physical can be wired, yani physical, or wireless media. Okay, these are the two types of communication. You can see here we have wireless, then we have wired, and the wired is connected has two different types: LAN media or WAN media. We will talk about LAN and WAN for sure. Thank you. LAN is local area network, WAN is wide area network, but we will explain more. Okay. Topology, network models. So when you want to model a network, okay, you talk about topology. What is topology? In general, topology describes how the parts of the network work together. Okay. We have two types to model a network. We can model it as physical topology. Physical refers to the network hardware and how computers, other devices, and cables or radio signals work together to form the physical network. So they talk about the components, the physical components that connect the network. If you look here, the right here, or the yellow one, this is the physical network, physical topology. You see, it shows you all the devices, how they are wired, okay, in which floor, what are they, okay, this is called physical. The logical topology, by the way, this is important, okay, to know the difference. It mostly refers to how software controls access to network resources, such as how users and softwares initially gain access to the network, what IP addresses they have, okay, how applications are shared. This is called which topology? Logical. So with logical, you will find the IP addresses. In the physical, do we have IP addresses? Okay, now we talk about the network models. We have peer-to-peer network and we have client-server network. Peer-to-peer is the simple network. And imagine you are at home, you have one printer connected to your computer, you want to share it with another person at home. You can share it. So this is a small network. We call it peer-to-peer. Did you go and buy an operating system for the network, for the server? No. Did you buy operating system for server, Windows Server 2019 at home just to share a printer? No. So this is peer-to-peer network. Okay. The computers are called hosts, and they make a logical group of computers and users that share resources. And each computer controls its own administration, resources, and security. Okay. The example here is Windows. Windows can do this peer-to-peer. Linux, Mac OS, and also you have iOS and Android, okay, for mobile. This is how it looked like. Okay, you see these computers, they are sharing this printer, but there is no security. And if you have many computers, this will not work. The network will be very slow. So it's not scalable. So if we talk about the advantages, please read the advantages of the peer-to-peer network. This is important also. What are the advantages? Who can tell us? Simple to configure, less expensive, cheaper, because you are not purchasing new equipment or software. For example, you don't need to buy Windows Server 2019 because it's more expensive. You are only using your operating system. Which Windows are you using? 10 or 11? Depends. Now, what are the disadvantages? I have already mentioned some of them. It's not scalable. If your network grows, it will not work. And also security problem, because they are not necessarily secure, because you cannot control. Okay? And also it's not practical for the network administrator. If you have like 10 computers, he has to go to 10 computers to share the printer for one task. Okay. Hi, this is just repeated slide. This one is repeated, okay. Client server network model. This is the one we use here. This is the one that more commonly used for enterprises, small office networks. Okay. Client server network. Here you have a dedicated server and you have a client. The client will send the request through the network to the server. What kind of servers we have? For example, we have email server. What does it do? Can you read? Software. Exactly, to exchange emails. The second one is web server. What does it do? Web server software. The client will run the browser like Chrome, okay, to access web page on the server. The third one is file server. It stores corporate and user files in a central location. The client device accesses the files with the client software such as Windows File Explorer. You know, Windows File, when you want to share files or, access files, we go to the Explorer. File Explorer. You see this one here? So we can access files on the network from here, if they allow us. Very good. What are the advantages? Of course, there are many advantages. What are they? Who can tell us? It is secure because you can have authentication, username and password. Okay? You can have central control to the network. From one server, you can control everything. Okay? It can be easily monitored and diagnosed. Okay? And also it's more scalable. If your network grow, hundreds of users, thousands of users, also it is working. So what are the disadvantages? More expensive than peer-to-peer. You need someone specialist, engineer, administrator to manage it. It's not something that just, no, he has to get more training. And also, if the server is down, the whole network is down. Okay. So you must have some sort of backup redundancy. Very good. Okay, now we come back to your question. We have network types. They are divided according to their geographical coverage. We have local area network, metropolitan network, and wide area network. The local area network, we have already talked about it, like what we have here. We have one device here, network device, and all the computers are connected to it in the local area network, okay? So it's a small geographical area. It is managed by the network, by us, by the network administrator, not by the telecom company. You don't have to go to the Salat. It's here, managed here, your local area network. We have one type of LAN. It's called wireless LAN. Here you have wireless access point, and the computers are connected to it. Okay, and this device is connected through a cable to the network. What devices do we have in the LAN? We have switch. Okay, switch will receive data from one of its port and redirect it to the desired port. What is the physical topology used in the LAN? We have star topology. It's called the star because it looks like a star. You see here, you have the switch in the middle, and everyone is connected to it. So it looks like a star. Okay. The other type of topology used for LAN is called hybrid. Okay. This one is called hybrid. You see here, hybrid topology, because you have more than one star connected to each other. This yellow line here is called backbone cable. The backbone is central conduit cable, yani that connects the segments or pieces of a network. The NIC is used to attach each host to a network. So these are the hardwares of LANs. Also, we have router. A router is a device that manages the traffic between two or more networks. Router can be used in a small home network, such as we call it SOHO, or a small office network. SOHO means what? SOHO, yani small office, home office network. Okay. It will connect your LAN or home to the internet through the router. We have also more complicated router called industrial grade. They are more expensive, and they can have several network ports. The difference between router and switch, very important. Our router is like a gateway between networks. Okay, and it will have two or more local networks. That's why it's called a router. Okay. A switch belongs only to its local network. So the switch will work only locally, but the router will connect different networks. Also, it will connect the network to the internet. Any questions? Metropolitan Area Network, or MAN, is a high-speed network that connects local area networks in a metropolitan area. Metropolitan يعني like the city. منطقة سكنية, منطقة عمرانية. Okay, or town, to handle the bulk of communication activity across the region. So a MAN includes one or more LANs, but covers a smaller geographical area than one. Yani MAN is in the middle between LAN and one. One can be a whole country. MAN is for a city, town. And MAN is usually managed by a consortium of users, اتحاد يعني, أو by a network provider. You know some examples of network providers, right? Like small LAN, small area, لا, small like computer lab, campus, building. MAN is for a city or town, village, town. One, the wide area network. We will talk now about one. One is a network that covers large geographical area, such as a country or the world. The biggest network is what? The biggest one is what? Wide area network. Okay? Is what? One. The biggest one is one? Internet. The internet is the biggest one, the mother of all networks. فاهمين علينا شباب؟ الانترنت is the biggest one. It's a wide area network. Covers the whole universe, the whole earth, the whole planet almost. Now we talk about some safety procedures when you are entering the lab. Please, you have to read them. Okay, you have to make sure that you know what is the emergency alert system and something is wrong. What are the portable fire extinguishers? What are the emergency power off switch? You know, like you see the maps here. You see that map here. This is the emergency exit. Here, Mr. Here. See that one? Okay, but that one, you see that one? This is called emergency exit. In each lab, each building should have this. Okay? So you need to check. Do you understand what is the problem, what to do in case of emergency, and what type of your security system allow? Yani if security system allow access during a failure, we call it fail open. I remember this came in one of the exams. Fail open yani something is wrong now. I cannot access the. Yeah, now it's okay. Alhamdulillah. So we call it. So it's working. What happened? Yeah, alhamdulillah. Now it's working. It's back. We have only one slide, Shabab. So it's called fail open. يعني you know some places إذا صار emergency الأبواب تفتح. Some places إذا صار emergency الأبواب تسكر. صح؟ فالأول بنسميه fail open يعني إذا صار failure صار down بصير بيفتح. With the other one we call it fail close. You also need SDS safety data sheet to explain to you how to handle the equipment, how to handle the chemicals if you have some chemicals in the lab. Okay. What are the measures? You have to, like for example, if before you work on the computer, you have to shut down the electricity on the monitor or on the CPU. You have to wear a wrist pad, عشان static discharge. Everything should be grounded. Okay. We have also to follow the standards, which is called OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration Standards. These are the standards for the industry, for your work environment. Yani how you control your work and how you manage the safety in your lab or in your work following these standards. Okay? OSHA guides when using power tools. You have to wear PPE or personal protective equipment. Can you give me example? Like the lab coat, safety shoes, glasses, very good. Or if you are soldering or you have to keep all tools in good condition and in the right place. Use the right tool. Watch for trip hazards, something in the floor, cables or something. Be careful working in the lab. Before touching equip components, make sure you ground yourself by wearing an ESD strap اللي هو اللي بينربط هذا على الإيد. Okay. Touching the case before touching any component. Storing component inside an anti-static bag. Okay. Always, this is very important, shut down and unplug a computer before working inside it, even unplug it, okay? That's the last slide for this chapter. So now I will answer your questions. What's your question?